In today's video, we'll share our market analysis and what we're expecting for the entire crypto ecosystem. We'll also explain why we believe this Bitcoin zone is crucial. Additionally, we'll analyze Polkadot, focusing on the significant rise it experienced over the weekend and the zones we're using to monitor its price movements, just like we're doing with Cardano and Solana. For those of you who've been following us for a while, you know that here at Crypto Insight, we've been positive over the past few months. As a spoiler for this video, we'll tell you we remain optimistic in the medium and short term. But now, let's dive into the details of what we expect in the shorter term. On the screen, we have Bitcoin's chart in the 1-hour time frame. However, we'll set Bitcoin aside for a moment and start with Polkadot, as it's providing us with some very key information. This weekend, Polkadot experienced a strong bullish move, which didn't catch us off guard. We had been monitoring the development of this wedge and were anticipating its breakout to the upside, followed by an immediate reaction. Let's look back at what we mentioned in our last video. This wedge, which we've been waiting on since April, finally broke out recently with great momentum. Take a look at the volume. This is where we tell you that when these wedges are broken like this, and with such volume, the market is sending us a clear message. The spark has been lit, and now we wait to see if this explodes. Now, continuing with DOT but zooming in further, let's move to the 1-hour time frame to take a closer look at this explosive price movement and the insights it provides. As you can see, we've already identified this defense zone, which we consider critical. You know how much importance we at Crypto Insight place on defense zones. At the same time, we've started to work on a creek. What is this creek telling us? What we're evaluating here is the formation of a range structure. Eventually, we expect this structure to break out to the upside, but for now, we'll wait for it to develop and take some time. There's something about the chart that should catch your attention: the volume. Notice the disproportionate volume of this candle, the one that rises and then halts compared to the previous candles. Here, as you can see, we've marked a blue rectangle, which we'll explain shortly. Now, let's move on to Cardano. To do so, we'll examine its chart in the 1-hour time frame. Here we can see how, just like Polkadot, it experienced a strong bullish push over the weekend. This bullish impulse has shaped a structure, which I'm highlighting in yellow, that represents nothing less than a distribution process. This process has done its job, pushing the price downward. Let's zoom in a bit to give you a closer look at how this distribution process has hit its first institutional target to the millimeter. From there, it reacted. Now, you might be wondering about this blue line, or rather, this blue rectangle that we've marked here. It's none other than the POC of the preceding distribution we were discussing. So, crossing this information with what we analyzed in DOT, what can we expect from Cardano's price movement? Here at Crypto Insight, we expect the price to enter a ranging zone, eventually breaking upward. Once this blue structure, the high volume node and the POC of the distribution breaks, we're not expecting the price to stay within the range. Instead, we anticipate a strong breakout to the upside. Now, let's return to Solana's chart in the 1-hour time frame. You'll notice a similar pattern to Cardano. After the price rose, it formed a structure, a distribution process, which brought it back to its first institutional target. Following this reaction, we've marked another blue rectangle at the point where the price stalled. This also is the POC of this distribution and another high-volume node. The blue zone we've highlighted represents the price range where this distribution process saw its highest volume, making it a key area. If this zone were to break, the reaction would be immediate. However, we won't rush to conclusions. Before expecting that reaction, we'll be watching for the formation of a range, allowing this process to take time to develop. Once it's ready, we anticipate a breakout above this blue rectangle and the high-volume node, continuing the bullish movement. Moving on to BNB, still in the 1-hour time frame, we can see that over the weekend, it broke upwards from this structure, and this line we had been analyzing. Similarly to the other assets, we'll wait for this range to develop further before giving us that bullish movement we're anticipating. Now, let's take a closer look at Ethereum's chart. But first,
welcome to Crypto Insight, your ethical and moral channel for cryptocurrency technical analysis. Here, we really know what we're talking about. We conduct advanced technical analysis that has been developed for over 12 years. We upload videos several times a week. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, let me know and leave a comment with your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss the next opportunity.
let's look at Ethereum in the 1-hour time frame. On a macro level, Ethereum is currently in a bullish ZEP pattern. We can see its bearish impulse followed by the corrective structure labeled with W, Y, and Z. This set consumed time before giving us that upward explosion. As you may already know, this Z pattern remains active, meaning that on a macro scale, we're still bullish. However, on a more micro level, this Z pattern broke the wedge and gave us a bearish impulse. This bearish impulse is now in the process of being correct. Here, we can identify the WY and a micro Z, which is still respecting its guideline, in this case, a defense zone. Of course, we remain optimistic, but being bullish doesn't prevent us from expecting a range formation in Ethereum. Typically, when these Z patterns pause, they form a structure. So we need to allow time for this structure to develop before continuing continuing its upward trajectory. I haven't forgotten to explain why we consider Polkadot so key to understanding the entire crypto ecosystem, why this blue rectangle is so significant, and how it can help us predict movements in other assets. But first, let me remind you that registration for our private channel, Crypto Insight Premium, is still open. In this exclusive space, we provide daily live technical analysis of the market, along with updates that we believe are key to staying informed. It's also a place where we share trading ideas and feedback, allowing us to grow as a community and continue learning every day. Signing up is very simple. The requirements are as follows. You need to be a user of BitUnix or buy DFI, have deposited cryptocurrencies into your BitUnix or buy DFI accounts with a minimum value of $100, and use this account as your primary futures trading account. In other words, you need to be actively trading. Once you've met these requirements, simply fill out the form displayed on the screen. It consists of just 5 simple questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Don't miss this unique opportunity to become part of our exclusive Crypto Insight Premium community. Come join us, we're waiting for you. Now let's see why this blue rectangle is so crucial. As I mentioned at the start of the video, one of the things we pay close attention to and work with is volume. Look at this volume, it's completely disproportionate compared to the average volume of the previous candles. Another thing that stands out is how the price rises abruptly and then suddenly halts, leaving behind a noticeable wick. This is something that must catch our attention. When analyzing the delta, we see this candle has a notable buyer delta significantly larger than the previous ones. What's striking isn't just its size, but also the wick it leaves. Look at how the delta was brought down and closed in this position. What does this indicate? It shows us that seller delta is coming in, suggesting that purchases are being absorbed. Now, let's examine how this wick looks in the order flow. Let's zoom in to analyze this candle closely. What stands out immediately is this cluster. What are we seeing here? All the activity is concentrating at this level, and this is precisely the same level marked in blue on our chart. So, what can this zone tell us? As I mentioned, we're expecting the price to develop within a range. However, if we see this zone being lost, what we'll need to anticipate is a strong upwards reaction. All this absorption, specifically the absorption of buying, means that sellers will no longer be defending this position. When that happens, we can expect the price to react with significant strength. That's why today we'll use DOT as our informant, as we believe it will alert us to the end of this range building process we've been discussing. Now, let's move on to Bitcoin, keeping in mind that we're still in a macro bullish Z and remain optimistic for the medium and long term. We can see on the 1-hour chart that Bitcoin shows an impulse followed by an ascending channel. We'll be watching for this range to develop into the structure that we recognize as impulse channel range, and then, yes, expecting a climactic action. So stay alert to how DOT behaves and use cross-analysis to apply this information to other assets. If you enjoyed this advanced technical analysis, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you won't miss future analyses. Also share this video with your friends and other trading and cryptocurrency communities to help more people improve their strategies. Good luck with your trades, and see you next time.